I'm seeing red. The hunger for war is in my blood. Hunger is raw with my lungs. You can see in my eyes, I am the phoenix about to rise. I'm seeing red. Do or die, alive or dead. Hear the voice inside my head telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing red. Do or die, alive or dead. Hear the voice inside my head telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing. I'm seeing. One-man army under the gun. Locked and loaded. Here I come. Laying on your back. Always at the ready to attack. I'm seeing red. Do or die, alive or dead. Hear the voice inside my head telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing red. Do or die, alive or dead. Hear the voice inside my head telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing. I'm seeing. I'm seeing I'm seeing red. Do or die, alive or dead. Hear the voice inside my head telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing red. Do or die, alive or dead. Hear the voice inside my head telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing. I'm seeing. I'm seeing red. I'm seeing red. I'm seeing red.
Welcome back to another episode of Second Amendment Ranch, y'all. If you like that band, go check them out. They are State of Mind. The song is called Seeing Red, and we do have permission to use their music. Yes, Justin, I saw you post, or Richie post that get taken down in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, we have permission to use that music.
Awesome.
So, yeah, contacted. I actually found them on TikTok of all places. Found them on Instagram. Sent him a message tell him what we were about, and asked if he would let us use his music. And he said, "Hell yeah!" So, kiss my ass, Facebook. We've been wanting music, and especially for openings and allowing us to get the shares out there and everything for a long time. And thankfully now we have it. I love that music video, especially for the Second Amendment Ranch. Now I might have to dip out for like 2 minutes during the show because I have a package coming, and they said it was supposed to be here by 9, and I delayed everything I was going to do today because I have to sign for this shit, and they're still not here, and the show will run 7 to 9.
That's par for the course.
Yeah, shit happens. Now, last week we talked last week about Texas state laws, some of them and everything. We always open the floor up to questions and everything. Now, if you do want us to cover your state laws for guns and stories and talk about some of our experiences we've had, by all means, we have no problems with that. Ask away, shout out your state, what state you want us to cover, everything like that. Hopefully we can get through all 50 states in 50 weeks. But today is Missouri. Now, Missouri is interesting, and I'm going to show you a photo. These are all the states, if you get licensed in Missouri, that your license carries over into. Kind of weird that some of these states are grayed out. Well, these states don't let you carry in them, and I wonder why. But all these red states, if you get licensed here, this will let you. So that's one thing you need to know. If you need to pause it, screenshot it, whatever. Because if you go into one of those gray states, your license is no good, and that's a felony.
Right.
Now, one thing I found interesting with Missouri, Texas is not a constitutional carry. You can't just carry regardless. Missouri, come to find out, at least the laws that I found, and Google's being very, very weird with showing the actual laws for states. It took me a while to find some of these. But Missouri is a constitutional carry, so you need nothing. It just, hey, Second Amendment, go utilize it, which I think is phenomenal. But if you're going to carry, you still need training.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can't carry. But if you're going to carry, and some of the scenarios you're going to run into with people carrying, especially with no training, they're going to freeze. They don't know what to do. That, or they're going to pull their gun and not think what's behind them. They're not going to know any of the rules. They're not going to know what to do, and that's going to get you in a lot of trouble. Because if you do stop the attacker or assailant or robber, whatever, but you hit an innocent bystander behind them because you were carrying full metal jackets that day for whatever reason, you're still liable. So, and that's one reason when you carry, you need to know all the rules. Know what's behind your target, know what you're shooting, how far your target's at. Keep your finger off the trigger until you intend to shoot. Don't even draw your weapon unless you intend to shoot. Keep your weapon on safe until you intend to shoot. Everything, because those rules are going to protect you in the long run. If you don't know them and you can't recite them, you're kind of shit out of luck. Because what I didn't know is not a good defense in court. And Richie is pointing out as well that they are also a stand your ground state, which we did cover a little bit in Texas, meaning a stand your ground state, you don't have to run. Some states will require if you can flee, you need to run. And of course, there are always stipulations. Like if you're in your vehicle, you need to run regardless. If you get out now, you were in the means of escape. Now you've basically given it up to fight. And we've seen in situations where that stand your ground law is very effective, because I was watching a video a couple months ago where a guy went through a crowd of protesters. He did it peacefully and calmly. They still bashed on his car and everything. They got in a truck, ran into him, pulled in front of him, and blocked him so he could no longer escape. And that's one of those things you need to understand is that's why I carry my gun. I might not have my license yet, but I carry a gun in my truck for situations like that. But my problem is if I get out of my truck, I'm now in trouble because I'm in public carrying a firearm that I was not allowed to legally carry, which is one reason I really think everybody needs constitutional carry, but they need the training.
They need to know their weapon.
Exactly. Know your weapon and know what rules are required with what you're going to do. Because you have stand your ground laws and everything like that, just because you know your constitutional carry does not mean you're an expert. That's like these Karens getting on Facebook. Well, vaccines cause autism and veganism's better for you. And well, where's your degree? Where's your licensing? What weight does your word hold against these doctors? No, that's you need to, I'm not saying become an expert on it, but you need to know for when you run into situations like this. And I have seen several cases in doing research for gun laws of people utilizing the Second Amendment, and most of the time they're still getting arrested, and they get process booked, their weapons confiscated, and everything like that. But as long as they're educated and they give the statements they need to give in the appropriate manner, don't just say, well, I shot him because he was coming at me. No, you need to say the right things. I shot him because he was coming at me with threatening intent. Something along that lines. I was scared for my life and thought I needed to utilize it. And I'm fat and slow, so being in states that have stand your ground laws is very beneficial to me. Because if I'm running, whatever the fuck is chasing me is bigger and scarier than I am.
I can run, but I'm not going to.
No, not going to happen. Some of the other laws, they don't actually regulate any of your gun shows, so you can go. Yeah, exactly. Shelly Richie King, I feared for my life. Philly Road Tech, welcome to the show. This is Second Amendment Ranch here on Whoa Entertainment. You can go and follow the network as well and see some of the other shows we do. But you don't, gun law, or what was I saying? Gun shows aren't regulated as well, which I believe in the state of Texas, we're also not regulated, because you can go in and basically buy one. They'll try and run a background check.
Yeah, but I found a deal on that Texas deal last week. I'm still looking it up, where they're trying to pass a bill where you can't buy weapons at your gun shows in Texas.
Good luck.
I know.
Good luck. You're going to need it, because we also, if I don't remember if we did or not, but there is a Democratic representative that was trying to push a bill that basically got rid of the stand your ground law, as well as being able to defend your property. And what I mean is, she was passing a bill, or attempting to pass a bill. I don't know where it's at now, but she was pushing a bill that would mean if somebody breaks into your home, you have to flee your own home. That ain't gonna work, Bubba.
No.
And I would really like, if we have any police officers here, or any of them come in later, I would really like for them to answer me. If that law passed in your state, wherever you are, and somebody broke into somebody's home with wanting to rob them, ill intent, what have you, are you going to arrest the person for defending themselves in their own home? Because I can tell you right now, if I was a cop, I'd laugh and be like, I'm not arresting him. Well, it's your job. I don't care. He was in his property with his personal property utilized to defend himself from somebody that was either a threat or a robber, and he took matters into his own hands. I can't blame him. And the average, I think the quickest response time I've ever seen for a police officer was like 3 minutes, 48 seconds, or 5 minutes, something like that. And they were in the area. So when you have situations like that, you get told you have to call the police. Well, one, you're praying to God they get there in time. And two, they're coming with a gun.
Right.
No. I can remove one of those steps really quickly. I don't call 911 first. We will eventually get the police on the phone. But it's usually going to be accompanied by a body bag.
Yeah, corner.
Mm-hmm. I'm not fleeing my house. Again, I'm fat and slow, and I live on the second floor. So my only means to get downstairs is either A, jump out the window into a pile of dog shit, and that's not going to fucking happen, or run past the burglar downstairs and try to get out the front or back door. Also, not gonna happen, especially when I have thousands of dollars of guns in my room and tens of thousands of dollars in the gun safe. Yeah, backhoe works real well too. If you've got the property and a backhoe, I see no reason to call the cops at this point in time. The situation has been handled.
That's right.
Like, he was a threat. He's no longer a threat. He doesn't deserve an actual burial because, well, he was a piece of shit. And I got a backhoe. Grass is going to grow real well right there. Now, going back in the laws, open carry. You can open carry holstered and unholstered. It is allowed statewide, but again, they go into no safety training or permitting is required to open carry. I do think you need, and I'm like, I can understand open carrying. You like to have your gun out. It's not digging into you. It's not pushing into your fat, whatever. But I don't want all my cards on the table face up. If I'm going to carry, I want to carry that thing hidden. So when something does happen, they don't think anything about me. If they want to do something, they know immediately you're a threat because you're open carrying. And
Right.
unless you've got one of these really nice holsters that can lock your gun in place against somebody taking it, like if you use a leather holster for an open carry with no locking mechanisms whatsoever, you're fucking up easily. Because one, if you get into a fight, it can fall out. Two, the assailant can take your gun from you at any given point in time, whether it be running by in the fight, something like that. And three, leather is, well, again, your gun's going to fall out. And I actually have seen, I was looking for a holster a while back, and this one came up for like $20. I was like, hell yeah, I can buy that one right now. I need one. It looks good, whatever. I started looking at reviews and everything, and this dude was carrying a Glock. And if you don't know about Glock, they don't really have any safety mechanisms on them other than the trigger itself has a little push pin. And his leather folded into the trigger guard, got locked under his trigger, and when he pushed it back down, it went off. Now, he didn't shoot himself, thankfully, but when you go buy holsters, look for something. I'm not saying you don't have to get leather. I have a leather holster for my 1911. It's an open carry. I really only use it. I can't use it right now because I need to stretch out the bottom because I put compensators on my 1911s, or I need to get another 1911, and I found one I really, really, really like. But it doesn't fully fit in, so the trigger kind of sticks out a little bit. It's not much. But when I use a leather holster, it's really only for going to the gun range and running drills. That's the only real benefit I have found for me. And again, this is my personal experience and opinion on this. That's the only reason I would use a leather holster is I'm going to the range. If you like leather holsters, you can still get them with a locking mechanism, something that can hold it in place. But I do recommend getting the Kydex form-fitted leather wrapped holsters. That way, now my open or my concealed carry 45 or 9mm Glock 43X. That one's just a Kydex case, and you'll see it get a little scratched up and everything like that. It's a gun. It's meant to be a tool. If you're worried about scratching your guns up, it's not meant to be a carry gun. Find one you're not worried about beating up, but that can pass a durability test. And there are durability tests all over YouTube. I can tell you that right now. But if you want to carry your nicer guns and you do want some safety, get the leather wrapped Kydex. Get the form-fitted leather that's rigid so it does hold your pistol better. You don't want that coming flying out in the middle of what have you and either going off or getting stolen. Now, public buildings for Missouri, public agencies can prohibit the concealed carry in their buildings. However, such prohibitions ended in 2018 unless public buildings have metal detectors and security personnel at all times. Now, some states, and I know ours, there's two bills they can post. It's like Bill 81, I think, and then like a 556 or something like that. But it basically prohibits the carry of all guns. Now, if they do not, I don't know how it is in Missouri, but I know in Texas, if they don't have those bills posted, but they say you can't carry in here, they legally cannot press charges for you carrying your gun in there. They can kick you out for trespassing, and that's it. They have to, if they're going to post those bills limiting you from entering a building, carrying a gun, they have to have those bills posted. Otherwise, it's their own opinion. They're telling you can't carry, but there's no legal weight behind it.
Right. And around here, or here in Missouri, a lot of them just put a sticker on the window. You'll see them at hospitals, federal buildings, state buildings, courthouses. and everything. It's got the weapon with the slash through it.
Well, I know in most laws, and I know at least on a federal level, and I haven't seen anything specific for states, but I know in your basic training and courses that those buildings like that, you're not supposed to have your gun in at all. It doesn't matter if
Right.
you're licensed, unlicensed, whatever. The only people are allowed to carry in there are going to be police and security, and that's like big law. If you
Right.
carry in there, you're going to get hammer fucked.
Yeah, you're gonna get it.
Don't carry in those buildings. One interesting thing about that, and this is kind of going into the First Amendment, is you can film in courthouses and public buildings like that. In the open areas, you can't film like personal cases going on and stuff like that.
Yeah, you
But
can't film in a courtroom.
No, but it's a public building, and if you get told you can't film in there, they're breaking rules and laws, and you need to get a lawyer because
Right.
you can film in those buildings. And any building that's seen from the public, you can film regardless of what kind of building it is. So if you go around a police station and you're filming, they might get pissy with you and try and arrest you, but as long as you know your laws, and this is why we're teaching the Second Amendment, we might kind of dabble in some of the other constitutional laws here and there, but you can legally film a Navy base, police buildings, jails, everything, because it's open, it's visible from the public, and there's nothing they can do about it. Now, there are a lot of places that are trying to ban that, but that's it, that goes against the Constitution as well of freedom of the press. Was it freedom of the press?
Yeah.
I believe. So, that's why we really hit on know your laws. And if your state passes a law that prohibits that kind of actions, you need to take it up to, if you get caught, take it up to a higher authority than your state, because technically that is unconstitutional. And Roe v. Wade, if you've never seen that court case, Roe v. Wade has established that any law that goes against the Second Amendment or the United States Constitution is null and void.
Yep.
And that has been in court multiple times. So anything that goes against, so if you get arrested for doing something constitutionally protected, get out of it, and two, countersue the piss out of them. And then donate to our ranch so we can get the ranch running.
Right. And if you want to donate, I'll put that back up on the screen. We started a spot fund account that if you want to donate to the show, you can read what it's about and everything. You can find it on Spot Fund there. Just look up Second Amendment Ranch. So
The other one wouldn't let us.
no. And we won't name them since they won't let us.
No free advertising for you, jackass. We are actually looking for sponsors, though. I did reach out to two so far for 1,700 somewhere. I will try and find something Second Amendment related to go for the Second Amendment Ranch for a sponsor. It's going to be a challenge. It's one, with the coronavirus crap going on, money's tight everywhere, and two, finding a sponsor for smaller shows. Now, we average about 1.3 thousand views a show on 1,700 somewhere. We get about 1.2, 1.1 on the Second Amendment Ranch, but we also get about over a 5,000 reach every week.
Yeah.
That's we've never. It's rare to come onto our videos and go, "Oh, we're at 4,800 during the week."
Hi, Ross.
Between the two shows that I'm on, we get 2,000, we'll say 2,500 views and 10,000 reach. So I'm hoping those numbers will kind of incentivize somebody to find me. And Richie says some cities in Missouri say no. What cities are saying no that you can't do? What is it, filming in their buildings and stuff like that, because they can't legally do that. If they say no,
I think he was talking about the carrying the guns into buildings. Some cities said no.
Well, again, the courthouses. I know some states you still can't carry. I know Texas has passed a bill that allows you to carry in a church. Some states still won't allow you to carry in churches. Federal buildings, places like that, you can't carry at all in those
Right.
buildings.
A lot of places in Kansas City, you cannot carry a gun in a building.
They have to have that bill posted.
Yeah.
If they say no, but they can still kick you out for trespassing. But if they don't have that bill posted, there's nothing they can legally do other than have you escorted off the property for trespassing.
All they can basically do is ask you to leave.
Yeah, that's it.
Right to refuse service. They use
Exactly.
that
So the
clause.
easiest thing to do is just leave.
Right.
If they don't want to support the Second Amendment, they don't want some extra free security while you're shopping, screw them.
You keep freezing up every once in a while.
That's weird.
It's the second time it's happened.
And if it gets worse, I'll leave and rejoin.
Yeah.
Local regulations from Missouri. State law prohibits all local governments from enacting any firearm regulation. Prior to 2014, a number of communities banned open carry of firearms. Local government can also no longer authorize gun buyback programs or prohibit motorists from keeping a loaded gun within reach. And what that means is, originally, when I started buying guns, so 2000, prior to 2015, I know in the state of Texas, if you were going to transport a firearm in your vehicle, you had to unload everything, couldn't have a round in chamber, couldn't have the magazine, and they had to be separated through the vehicle, so they could not both be easily within reach. And in some cars, that's really hard, especially when I get a rental car and I could touch the rear windshield. But you couldn't have them close enough for you to easily access. And they, again, all ammunition had to be separated. Plus, they had to be hidden. So not only could they not be seen, they couldn't be within reach. The Castle Law basically said that your truck or your car is an extension of your home, and you can do whatever you want. And it's your personally owned vehicle. You can do it however you want, which allowed people to open or to carry their guns loaded near them in their vehicles. So with that, with Missouri having a similar law and banning the state from enacting any laws so if your representatives decide to try and push a bill that would prohibit a carrying of a firearm in your vehicle, or they start trying to restrict the fact that you can't, if they try and go back to you have to have everything separated, you can have them removed from office.
Right.
And I highly recommend, if they're willing to try and do that, what else? I mean, look at what we have going on currently.
Exactly.
Gun signs, private building owners can post signs to prohibit concealed carry and or open carry. There's no legal penalty specifically for carrying a gun into a posted building. If, however, the gun carrier is asked by management to leave and refuses, he can be charged with criminal trespassing, which we covered. And again, that, Richie was talking about their cities won't allow it. And we did cover that fairly well in depth, but that is one of the laws. But as we said, if you get asked to leave and you don't, trespassing.
Right.
So leave.
Just leave. Don't do business there.
Don't come back. That's plain and simple. Find another shop.
That's right.
Schools and guns. This is going to be in Florida. Actually, we covered on it 1700 somewhere. Allowed and hired 2 trained veterans to openly carry on school properties, which I think is a phenomenal law. But here's what Missouri is saying, or Kansas and Missouri. This would be Kansas and Missouri. State laws allow public K through 12 schools, universities, and community colleges to authorize employees to carry firearms in school buildings as of July 1st, 2017. So
Yep.
over 4 years, almost 4 years.
Yep.
Public colleges no longer can prohibit concealed carry in campus buildings unless there are metal detectors and security personnel at every entrance. So on college, you can carry your gun as long as you're licensed. K through 12, you've got to be a part of the staff, but the school can say, hey, we want you to carry a gun.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're talking about custodians, teachers, everybody.
And I think that's a brilliant idea. But again, I want to hit on this.
Training.
Exactly. Every single time you need training. And Richie's saying that's how they get you using trespassing.
Yeah.
And as long as you, as soon as they say, hey, you can't have that in here, and you walk out the door, it doesn't matter if they call the cops. If there's security cameras and they pull that footage up, this is where he told me to leave. This is where I left.
Right.
You left when you were instructed to. When they told you you need to get out, there's nothing they can do. You left on the first warning. If it takes you 2 or 3 times, now you're going to get hit with trespassing. Missouri and Kansas laws do not regulate gun shows, require gun owners to obtain a license, register their firearms, or report lost or stolen firearms. Limit the number of firearms purchased at one time, or impose a waiting period on firearm purchases. Prohibit possession of a firearm by individuals convicted of domestic violence misdemeanors or who are subject to domestic violence protective orders. Regulate assault rifles or large capacity ammunition magazines, or require an individual to store a firearm so a child cannot access it. Some of these I do have issues with. You should, if you have children, one, teach them how to behave around your guns, and 2, keep them in a safe manner. I don't mean they have to be locked up all the time, but there are padlock key locks that you can run through the chambers or put into the tube. And I mean, there's dozens of different ways to lock a gun, but keep it locked so that way he can't access it. And there are biometric security systems now where if somebody does break in, you tap your thumb or finger real quick, rip that thing out, load it real fast, and go. You need to think of your children. And one of the stories I see too much is that a kid wants to show his friend his dad's gun, and one of them gets shot.
Right.
So, and my dad, he had an old, I can't remember the make and model. It was an old 22 revolver. And this thing was, I mean, when I say it was old, I mean, this thing was older than me and is old, probably older than I am now back when I first found it. This thing was ancient and had a problem with misfiring all the time. You'd have to run through 3 or 4 times to make sure every round was actually discharged. But he stored it till where I couldn't find it until I was a little older. I think I found it when I was like 7 or 8 because I would climb on everything, and he put it in a high area. And of course I went up and climbed in his closet and found it. But he did have a little thought about it. And my brother had, he loved guns a little bit back then, but I've also played a lot of shooter games, and I know this thing will kill me. So make sure you let your children know. So yes, I do think there needs, I'm not saying laws, but you do, as an individual, you should.
If you're a gun owner, you need to teach and train your kids about the weapon, and it's not a toy. You know, the way I grew up and everything, Papa always had guns and everything. We always went hunting, fishing, stuff like that. But I knew if I touched it, I would regret it.
Yeah. And that's one thing we need to bring back. Spank your children. Your kid screws up, they need consequences for every action. And one of the laws I do like is they don't restrict how many guns you can buy at one time, or you have to wait for that gun. And that's one reason, like, I would move to Missouri and plan to, if we can get funding for the Second Amendment range, because I have a bad habit of going into gun stores and seeing 2 or 3 guns that I like and walking out with 2 or 3 guns that I liked. And I get my background check right there, do all the paperwork and everything. I remember I went into Academy and I was going to pick up a shotgun. I was going to get one of my shotguns. It was the Mossberg Shorty shotgun. I've been looking for a Glock for a while because my buddy had one. I've only ever had 1911s. I thought I was going to like not a Heckler and Koch. It's one of the MP series guns. I can't remember who does the MP series right now, but I liked it a lot. But it had some things I didn't like about it, and picked up a Glock. I'm like, all right, I can deal with this for a carry gun, because in 1911 you really have to baby Glocks. You can, it's the AK of the gun world, of the pistol world. You can throw it through mud and it's going to work. Now ARs have improved substantially, and I have watched a lot of testing where they throw it in mud and everything, and it still cycles through. But during World War II, whenever we were in the trenches and there was a lot of mud, the M16s, and this may have been the Vietnam War, this may have been that one, but our M16s and M4s could not handle the humidity and the mud compared to the AK-47s. I want an AK-47. I just hate how they look. They look like garbage to me.
Well, you got to remember the very first M16s was made by a toy company, Mattel.
So when I say we've come a long way with our manufacturing, we've come a long way for our manufacturing.
When I was in the service, I had an M16 that had Mattel on it. And let me tell you, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, we make toys. This is not a toy. This is something meant to shoot toys or shoot people.
Like Richie says, he loves his 911 45 ACP, but I like my 357 mag the same way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell you one more, or I've got two more pistols I want. It's there's a Kember 1911 I really liked. The only revolver I see me buying is the Taurus Raging Judge Magnum. You can get the snub, or you were able to find the snub nose fairly easy at the beginning of this coronavirus crap. But after this hit, like, they disappeared. You can't find them anywhere. And the reason I want this is because it shoots 3 different calibers.
Yep.
It shoots a 45 long Colt, which a 45 is already a fairly big bullet for a pistol. It shoots a 410 shotgun shell, so you can get a 410 slug, birdshot, buckshot, you name it, rock salt. Basically throw whatever you want at an intruder. And 3, it shoots a 454 Casull. And that bastard, they had to, so normally on your revolvers, you have one release to release the drum, push it out. And you can almost do it all with one hand while grabbing your speed loader and going. The Taurus Raging Judge, the 454 Casull, is such a hefty round, they had to put another locking mechanism on the drum so it would not kick the drum out when you discharge this gun. It might take me a second longer to reload, but what I'm throwing at you is going to hit hard.
Yeah, real hard.
A pre-40s 32 cal. Yeah,
it
might be time to upgrade there a little bit, bud. If you're wanting to get something in that caliber or bigger, and I do mean bigger, you can get. I got mine built for about $1,000, $800 without the Cerakoting, but I got me a 50 Beowulf AR-10. Well, AR-15 technically, but it shoots an AR-10 caliber bullet. Yeah, and 50. This is a 50 caliber round coming out of an AR.
Damn.
I've got, one of these days I need to bring everything up to my room for the show and just be like, this is this, this is this, this is this, this is this. Because the reactions, I remember I had my brother and my dad come over for a day of shooting. And I told them, you can bring whatever you want to shoot if you want, but I have options. And they didn't know I had this many at this point in time. They still don't know I have more. But I told them, if you want to shoot something, you can shoot whatever you want on the table when you get here. They come out, and my kitchen table's 5 feet long, 4 feet wide, and there wasn't a square inch that you could put anything down on. My dad's eyes just blew up. And he's like, no, I think I'm just going to, because he's looking at them like, these are scary. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a Democrat's worst nightmare. Because I had so many, and now I have like 3 more to add to the table.
Why don't you remove yourself for a second and come back in?
Yeah,
you froze up about 5 times in the last minute. He'll be right back, folks. We're here at the Second Amendment Ranch show, Cameron and me. started this new show. Let's see. Oh, I brought him in, and there we go.
So, yes, Mickey, it is. It's. I've got ammo up here. Give me 1 second.
He'll show you. Yeah, Cameron talks about all the guns and everything. I'm into the crossbows. And here in Missouri, you can use a crossbow hunting for anything.
Do I have? Oh, I've got a 5.56 right there. Okay. Time for a little show and tell.
Sounds great.
Okay. Most of us should know this caliber right here. 5.56.
Yep.
Tiny little, fun to shoot, good for hunting, good for basically everything. This is 6.5 Creedmoor. These are about as lined up as I can get them. So bigger bullet, bigger charge, all around more fun to shoot.
Yeah. Now.
This is 50 Beowulf.
Oh my God.
This is compared to the 6.5 Creedmoor.
Jiminy Christmas.
This is a little shorter than the 5.56, but you're shooting something larger than a 45 with this much powder behind it.
Yeah.
Most body armor can handle up to about the 6.5, 7.62 by 32. These come in hollow points and penetrating rounds.
Ooh. Well, you keep freezing up. I don't know what's up with it, with your computer tonight.
Shouldn't be. I don't have anything running.
I know, but you keep freezing up.
I mean, try leaving again and come back in.
Well, we'll just keep the show going. Yeah, 45 round with some speed. Yeah, that's bigger than a 45 round and everything, diameter. When he gets back on here, I'm going to ask him what's the, how many grains of powder's in that one?
All right, let me go to Midway USA.
He's not freezing on your end? Okay, so Richie. He keeps freezing on my end up here.
Uh, 20. I think these are
Very
350. Yeah, these are a 350 grain.
Wow. That's a lot of powder.
Now you can get up to like a 520 on some of these. One of the ones they have on right now is 420 grains, and it's one of those penetrators. So let me just show you what I can buy for this gun.
What's the range on that bullet?
You're good to about 200 yards. I think the actual research I did was like 132 or 160 yards for at least this one right here.
Wow, look
But
at that lead. That's wicked.
I know, right? And the funny story about how I got this gun, right? I wanted a 300 blackout gun. But when I was doing my research at this time, now 300 blackout is making a huge comeback because it's very similar to the 7.62 by 32. Yeah, 7.62 by 32. But I was researching and I'm like, it's dying out. It's going to get more expensive. I didn't want to mess with that. But, and I ordered one and I told him what I wanted. He's like, yeah, I can do that. And I'll have it ready in this amount of time. I kept talking to him like, I don't want that right now. What happened? I was doing research and he was telling me, yeah, it's going out. It's becoming less popular and everything like that. I think with the shutdown, it actually brought the 300 blackout back. But I told him, well, what about a 6.5 Creedmoor? Can you do this with the 6.5 Creedmoor? He's like, no, I can't. We already have all these built. We need to sell them. Like, send me a photo of the 6.5. Yeah, I'll take one. And he, okay, yeah, we'll have it ready. You can come and pick it up in a couple days. He emailed me and said, "Hey, I know you wanted that 300 blackout in the Cerakote orange. I can't do that in the 6.5, and you don't want the 300 blackout. But I got one in 50 Beowulf." Like, what the hell is 50 Beowulf? Look it up. I spent about an hour on videos and just watching the explosive power of these rounds. I'm like, okay. And you said you can do that in the Cerakote? Yep. Sign me up. I drove the hour down to his shop, picked up my guns, and that 6.5 is heavy as hell, so I have no problems worrying about the recoil with that one. The 50 Beowulf is pinky. You pick that gun up with your pinky, so it kicks. But if you're ever interested to see where I get most of my, or got most of my ARs built, the only other AR I would have him built is a 50 BMG, and he is actually thinking about building me a 50 BMG AR because he knows I'm that fucking nuts. And he's met me. Let's see, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5. I bought 5 guys from my gunsmith. That's how much I like this guy. And I tried to shout somebody out on one of the shows I do during the world record, and he kind of disappeared and flaked on me, so I will not be continuing doing that for him. But I will shout out Jim Mortimer all day long because he has made me a lot of really, and again, he made me this guy right here. So
it is a bright gun.
He does a lot of quality work that I really like a lot, and I have had no problems wanting to continue giving him my business. So he's gotten to meet me quite a few times, and I think that's one of the reasons he's really contemplating making a 50 BMG AR, because he knows I will shoot it regularly. And you've got to remember, this is a 50 cal round. 50 BMG is the same thing, but bigger. And now we have a 14. Somebody decided to go above and beyond the 50 and make a 14.2 or a 14.3, and it makes the 50 BMG look like a toy.
Oh, really?
Oh god, it's a terrifying gun. They made it to be a tank buster round. Basically, it's supposed to be able to shoot through tank armor and hit drivers. The gun itself is about 2.5, 3 feet longer than your normal Barrett 50 cal. So it's already a huge gun. The gun itself weighs anywhere from, I think they were saying 80 pounds to 120 pounds.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when I say, let me see if I can find it, just to show you.
Yeah. Who's going to pack that thing around?
Not me.
Not me.
I might take it to a range if I owned it, but that's it.
You're definitely going to have it on a tripod. There ain't no shooting from the hip.
14.5? Might be a 14.5.
And everybody, if you like this show, share it out.
I was able to find it so easy the other day. 14.
They quit making it.
0.2. I mean, it was basically it might be the 14.3.
Okay, Richie, I will.
Is it 16.5? I might have my numbers wrong. Wouldn't be a first time. Mr. Carl can attest to that.
Yeah. And next week we'll have the news on the new Barnett crossbow coming out. Nobody knows quite yet what it is. They're calling it the Knock Knock. Yeah, the Knock Knock.
That sounds
It either sounds like it's going to shoot 2 arrows, which will be illegal to use here in Missouri, or they came out with a new knock system for the Barnett, because if you buy a Barnett crossbow, you have to use Barnett arrows because they got a certain knock.
Yeah.
But that will be released Thursday. So next week I'll talk about it on here.
Okay, Google. I found this gun the other day. Why aren't you showing this to me today? This is ridiculous.
Richie, you'd like my Killer Instinct 405 I got.
What the hell? Could have sworn it was the 14.2. Sniper rifle, but it's not wanting to find me anything.
Really?
Yeah. Right now, which is really weird.
And you Googled it.
Yeah. I was able to find this when I first found out what this gun was, but it's not wanting to show, at least not right now. It's not wanting to show me anything.
Yeah, Google probably blocked it all.
Yeah. Which is really obnoxious.
Go to DuckDuckGo.
No.
That one, where's he at? Okay. PRN, do you have it? Well,
Yeah, that would be it. So this,
what'd you do? Find it on DuckDuckGo?
yeah, I found it on DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
Well, I found the caliber, but this is the bullet compared to 338 Lapua. This is the gun.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, it's a. I wish I could find the photo of it. They had it next to a 50 BMG, but I can't find those guys right now. But yeah, they had, and again, this round was made to basically punch through a tank. It makes 350 makes 338 Lapua look very similar to the 6.5 Creedmoor versus the 5.56. No, there's a difference. It's a bit, maybe an inch. This one makes 50 look like a toy. So I don't want to. It would be fun to watch shoot. It would be fun to shoot if it was mounted. But I'm not standing up and firing that gun because I don't want to go on my ass. But yeah, there's a lot of really, really, really fun toys out there. One thing you will never see.
Richie, I thought the 15th of January was the last day of hunting. January 15th, I believe. Not tomorrow.
Yeah, they had to have removed that because I'm not finding anything right now on the versus. I don't know what that was about. But where were we? We were doing gun laws. We've covered carrying. One benefit. I can't remember where Missouri rated on. I think they were low on the 30 something. Missouri actually rates fairly low for the amount of guns they have per person, but it's because they're an unregistered state.
Exactly.
That's one hilarious. They marked Texas as number 7 or 8 on the most guns in the state. And you have to remember, we don't have to register. So these guns they're finding and registering
Right.
are shit that's automatic have to put a suppressor on it. Class 3 shotguns, which I do. It is the only gun I have registered under my name because of what it is, and it's a shit. It's a shotgun.
Okay, Richie. I thought it was the 15th, not the 5th. Oh, well, I won't be doing any more deer hunting this year. I got to work tomorrow.
Miss Carl, you got COVID now. You got to go isolate.
I know it. I know it.
So
I've been around somebody that's got it, so I gotta isolate.
apparently, my boss has it, and the 2 girls that work Sunday through Wednesday have it now. So I'm like, great. We've had a bad problem with a lot of people getting sick in this warehouse and playing with the shit that everybody has to touch. So now I'm going to go in and they're not going to clean it. So they're going to be, oh, you've got to be careful. You need to wear your mask. You need to do this, wear gloves. Go kiss my ass.
Exactly.
I have eaten shit out of a strainer on a Navy submarine. I used to eat dog food as a kid. I played in mud. My immune system is a lot better than most of these weak motherfuckers.
I played in oil and grease growing up and everything, That's how we grew up. That's why our immune system, the older generation's better. These kids nowadays,
they play inside all day. And then
they don't go outside and play in the dirt.
This thing, my kids won't have nice phones. I don't care. You want to play? You'll play games with me. We'll pull out the Xbox. We'll play on the computer. I don't care. But you ain't going to sit on your phone all damn day.
No.
We don't need technology raising these kids.
That ain't happening. Oh, what happened to my... Oh, I gotta go back here.
Gunny loves being on all the shows. He has to be a part of everything. Everything. But yeah, if you want me to do a segment where I just literally talk about all the guns I have and how I acquired them, just ask. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I have no problems doing it. It'll scare a shit ton of people.
Yeah, Richie, we all drink well water. We drink it out of the garden hose. We drink it out of the well. We drink it out of streams.
Yeah, I've drinking out of creeks. I've swam in water that apparently you shouldn't swim in. Oh, get down. We'll snuggle later, dude.
I swam in Wallace State Park, and that's one of the nastiest lakes areas around here.
Now, one area of water I will not swim in is the San Jacinto River. Down here is because we have a lot of barges that go up and down them, and I worked for a company that went up and down it, and there is a lot of chemicals that go into that water. A lot.
Yep.
You don't want to eat anything out of the San Jacinto River. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, we tested them. When? 2016. Yeah, I want a new test. Don't do it. I'm already sketchy at eating fish in the first place. If it's not cooked right, I don't want it. But now there is, when I went down to South Padre, that's some good fish. We thought, me and my roommate, we really don't like eating fish all that much. And typically I get like fish and chips, so deep fried fish. We came in with our limit for the day of fish and had them fried. You take everything in, they fry it up, cook it however you want it, and they send it back out to you. And they've got their own brewery in there, so you can get the beers you want. And we thought we were going to like the beer battered fish more. No, their baked fish was. We've been planning on another trip down there just for that restaurant, man. It was good. And it was like $20 for your full catch of the day for 2 people. That's a lot of fish. We were eating good for a day. Like, we got hungry. Yeah, there's still fish, man.
Fish is good. We do a lot of bass, crappie, especially catfish up here.
I could go for some good catfish right now.
Oh, yeah. Deep fried catfish.
I need to find me a good fishing spot when I move up there.
Oh, we got them. We got them.
But I got to get up there first. But yeah, any questions, comments, concerns? Do you want to see a segment where we just show off our toys, something like that? Because we can make that happen.
Yeah, we can.
Now, it's probably going to take the full 2 hours, but I can make it happen. Now, don't be I'm going to tell you right now, and I bashed on my roommate a lot. He went and bought an AR at the beginning of this COVID shit, but everything had already sold out. He bought him a $600 AR, and it is. Now I have one gun that I can't push the pins out with my thumb to break it open. His, I couldn't do it. I couldn't even budge it. Mine, I can move a little bit, pry them out. His are wedged in there. I don't like his AR at all.
Really?
Basically, yeah. If you want to get a gun, find one you like in a good name brand. Do some research. Do not buy High Point. If you come on this show and tell me you have a High Point, I'm going to shoo you off my show. If I get shot by a High Point, tell them I got raped to death. High Point is one of the lowest name qualities, and they look ridiculous in the first place. They are absolute garbage-looking guns. Now, I have seen some tests run on them, and they do hold up very well. If you're wanting to buy a really cheap gun to throw in your truck and forget about, okay, I can understand buying a High Point then. But I will never own one, ever. Never, ever. Not gonna happen. But if you want to buy a gun, I'm not saying you got to go with Heckler and Koch or Kemper or something like that. That will come down later down the line. It's an addiction. I'm telling you right now, your first gun will open a hole. It's like tattoos. As soon as you get one, you're not done. But if you're going to be a first-time buyer, if you're looking for all-purpose home defense, shooting, hunting, do a little bit of research, and we will talk about anything you want to know about. We had our first impromptu show me and Carl ever had. The whole show was like 7 hours, but 5 hours of it was talking about guns. And we had a guy come in from Twitch asking about shotguns. What do you recommend? What kind of, I was thinking about using rock salt, stuff like this. We're like, no. And I told him, I recommend, if you're looking for a shotgun, I'm going to recommend the Remington 870. I've got it. It's a cheaper gun, but it holds up well. I've had it for 12 something years now. And
we showed him a picture of it.
We showed him different photos. We were showing him different photos of shorter guns you could get for home defense. He lived out in California, so we covered, California has very strict requirements about their guns. So you're probably not going to be able to get one of the shorty shotguns for home defense, which I would rather recommend for those because they are easier to maneuver around in your home. But the sound of a shotgun racking is very distinct and will alone scare off most intruders. But we're here to answer your questions.
Right.
And if I know about the gun, I'll do what I can. If I don't, I'll pull it up. I got 2 monitors for this shit, guys. But we went in for probably about an hour and a half talking to this guy about what he wanted. And when he said rock salt, I just laughed at him like, that's a great way to fuck with your friends. But that's about it.
And he came on here and asked us first because he was going to go ask his brother who's a member of a gun range.
And we got him straightened out.
Yeah. It was interesting. It was quite interesting on that one.
So Carl loves his bows. That's all him. I've got a PSE bow. I've never shot it. I wanted one. It was on sale. I'd like to get a better quality bow, a little bit bigger for my size. But I enjoy it, and I will shoot it eventually. I can get sighted in. But I love my guns. So, and if I don't have it and I can acquire it, and depending on how the ranch actually goes, I will acquire it, and we will play with some guns. Because the goal of the Second Amendment Ranch, this is not meant to just be a show. This is meant to be an educational process. What I mean by process is my goal, my dream is to move up to Missouri, get about 80 acres plus, and set up an actual training area where you have to take different classes to shoot on the range. And then we're going to have breaching areas where you can practice, police can practice breaching homes, breaching shacks, going out and finding meth labs. Or as a civilian, if you want to protect your home, as an intruder comes in, we can have something set up along that line. So that's the whole goal for everything. But in the process, we want to put out more content. So we're going to be shooting tannerite, shooting pumpkins, watermelons, pineapples, cucumbers, everything we can on this property, and showing what some of the guns do, how to break them open, clean them, handle them. It's meant to be a fully in-depth educational process in the very end of when we finally do get set up.
Kind of like the tannerite hog hunting situation you showed last night. That was awesome. If you want to take out about 30 hogs, set up tannerite and put bait underneath of it.
It'll do it. The shock alone, there's shockwave alone will put them in a state of panic and they'll freeze up.
Man, look how many freezers they could have filled.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what the hogs would look like. I seen 2 or 3 of them squealing and running, on the ground.
I mean, you could see chunks popping up and everything.
Yeah. That poor one that was underneath of it, that big one.
I don't know where he went. But now...
Yeah, Richie's the tannerite king. He blew up a boat.
We're going to be coming for that title if we can make this happen.
Yeah. He blew up a boat with tannerite.
But we do, again, we like to give you education, and one of the rules is never look down the barrel of a gun.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time. Mr. Carl, can you get that warning posted up for us?
Yes, let me get that.
We want to teach you do's and don'ts here on the Second Amendment Ranch.
We put this warning up, graphic content coming up and everything. So if there's little ones or you're squeamish, look away or then come back. But we do have warnings.
These are reasons why we have gun rules. Okay, this guy got super lucky. I'm going to tell you that right now. This guy got real lucky. When I say when we go over the rules, treat every gun like it's loaded. Never point at anything you don't intend to shoot. Keep your finger off the trigger until you intend to shoot. Keep your weapon on safe until you intend to shoot. All these rules are there for a reason, and this is one of them. If you have a misfire, don't do this.
Inches away from his noggin.
Yeah, that hurt. God, that hurt.
And we will have videos every single week of something stupid like this, because again, we want to teach you the do's and don'ts. And when I say don'ts like this, it's because of very special reasons. Most of these rules, and if you were ever in the military, most of the rules and regulations of the military are the same way. They were written in blood.
Right. Okay, I'm going to try something here.
This guy, and when I say this guy got lucky, I mean he got lucky. If you have a misfire, that is never how you need to handle the gun. Ever. If you have a misfire, and I have had something similar happen in my bed, where a round got lodged back behind in an open space in the gun and actually did explode. I panicked because, well, I don't know. I can't explain why, but I had it there and I knew what I needed to do, and it just, my mind went blank. But situations like this, I mean, I never pointed the gun at me. I never pointed at anything that was going to get injured easily. It was pointed at the bed the whole time. But if you have something like this, you pull the trigger and that round does not go off, keep that gun pointed in a safe direction. Give it a couple minutes. Give it about 2 minutes. Let's see if it'll actually go off. See if there's just a delay. If after 2 minutes it doesn't discharge, get that round out and dispose of it quickly. And I'm not saying like handle this with your hands and shit. No. Find a stick, find a rock, something, cover that shit up. Now that it's out of the barrel, it's going to be safer because it's not a directional explosion. It'll still take your thumb off, but as long as you're standing, it's really not going to hurt you.
Right.
And that one I can attest to because, again, I did have a round blow up and it just wedged itself in the gun. And if you have ever, and I have, take a 12 gauge round, take a knife, cut everything out of it, take that powder and light that shit on fire, and it just burns. It's like
Yeah,
watching a
man.
normal fire. And then it's when it's under the pressure and in an enclosed case and directional, it's really a problem.
Exactly. Now, for our crossbow mishap.
Yeah, you
Put
show that. I gotta go
up.
see what gun he's doing.
You know, we're going to see that. Okay, I'm going to try to bring this up. And warning again, folks, we will try to share that. Now, you got to watch this. If you see this video and everything, you notice how he's holding it. Look right there. If you see my mouse running across the screen, his thumb is sticking up above the rail. His wife is filming this. Okay, let me get this started. Did it play? Why isn't mine playing? Oh, there it goes. Come on, play. Is it playing on there?
No,
Why isn't it playing on there?
did you hit play on YouTube?
Yeah. I'm doing it. I got it playing on YouTube.
There it goes. Now it's going.
Well, he just gently rolls it off, you know, and sets it down.
Babe. Oh God.
Yep, took the top of his thumb right off while she was watching. But, yeah,
No.
folks, the older crossbows didn't have guards for your hands to set up there. The newer ones all have a guard that when you hold it, you really can't put your thumb or finger up above.
Now I'm going to show y'all what I was talking about. This gun shoots a 45 ACP, but if you look, that round has a lot of room in here, and the reason why is I actually had to get this gun completely. This upper had to be built for me. The lower was already made, but the upper had to actually be manufactured for me. And what they did is they made it off of a 5.56 build, so this chamber is longer. And what happened is you only really have to pull the charging handle back about halfway to load a round. What happened is the round got wedged. I don't know if you can really see it all too well, but there's a little bar back in here, and it got wedged in behind that bar and could not get out. And I can't, with how they manufactured it, my charging handle release is recessed. So it really, some of you probably saw, I was really trying to dig in here and get it pried out. So I need to get, they do have kits that you can have put on and be able to handle it easier. And I will eventually need to get one of those if I want to be able to push my charging handle out easy. But I couldn't get the charging handle out. So I'm trying to hold the charging handle, shake around out, trying to pry out the slide release and everything like that. Just couldn't do it. And it eventually, when I did release pressure off the charging handle itself hit the firing pin. So this is probably one of my more terrifying guns to own, solely for the fact that it does have that problem with the extra room. Now, you saw when I loaded it in and sent the slide forward, it had no problem. But trying to get a live round out like that, you really need to strip the magazine and then just prop it up and rip that thing out as fast as you can. And this gun has gotten a lot of comments on it for the people that did watch our first show.
Right.
There quite a few people think it looks scary. Well, it's not scary. It's a tool. It's just another firearm in my collection. And it's probably my better gun to own for home defense, because even my shorty shotgun's great for home defense, but it's only a 2+1 shotgun. It does not hold a lot of ammunition. This holds 23 rounds plus one. And it's, I mean, again, if you look at the size of it, this gun is shorter than my arm. So if I want to go and sweep my house real quick, I mean, you're supposed to put your arm through the brace and everything, but if you want to go sweep your house real quick for safety, you know, you're here. You're not having to go through your home with something like this, which weighs more. And I mean, you can see, I can barely get this thing onto this full screen. But trying to go through your house like this with a long rifle, they're going to see that barrel come around the corner a lot earlier and be able to take it and do what they need to do in your home.
Right.
So
Richie sent me 2 pictures of his babies.
So when I say if you're going to get nice, I love pistol grip shotguns. It takes so much pressure off your shoulder. And actually,
there's his other baby.
My Typhoon F12 is like that. It's got the pistol grip, but it's also an AR-10 style shot. I think it would be an AR-12 style shotgun. But if there's no real such thing as an all-purpose gun, you know, they may advertise it as this. You know, AR is the all-purpose rifle. You know, it's great for home defense. It's great for hunting. It's great for shooting. It's great for all of that. I'll give you that. But it's not really an all-purpose gun because depending on your home, coming around corners like that, again, you've got 1.5 feet of barrel coming around the corner before you even see him.
Right.
So when I wanted I wanted another gun. I wanted a pistol, and he told me he had a 308 Winchester, which is similar, a little fatter round than the 6.5 Creedmoor. He told me he had one of those. I'm like, sure, I'll pick it up. And I told him I specifically, you know, I like it. It's small, it's compact, it's going to be fun to shoot. But I told him while I was picking it up, I want an AR pistol in 45 because you could really only find them in 9mm at this point in time. Everybody's sold out. Nobody's got parts. It's really difficult. That's why he had to manufacture the barrel for me, or the upper for me. But I told him I wanted it as short as possible with enough room for me to get my hand in here and be safe. So even without the handguard I put on, I can still grab my barrel and have enough room away from the bolts right here, so I'm not digging my hand in here. But I can get a hold of the barrel, and my hand is still safe. I've got, and I have shown before, I have big hands because there are barrels you can get shorter than this. But I wanted to get a gun that's going to be as safe as possible for me. So if you want to get an all-purpose gun, if you want to get a home defender, you need to think a lot. And what I mean by that is find out what caliber you're comfortable shooting with, and you can put a lot down range at, what you can maneuver your home around your home easily. Think about the risks of more than one intruder. So if I were to use my shotgun, and it did sleep with me for a while, because it would be a great shotgun, and it did have a side load on it where I could have 3 extra rounds on it, which is great. But it just, you know, at most I've got 6 rounds with me. So I wanted something that I'm going to have a lot of. I'm not restricted on my maneuverability. It's a very lightweight gun. I can hold more rounds in it, and it's easy access. So you need to, when you go and try and find something you want for what you're going to do the research. Now, this AR actually has a longer barrel. I think it's a 4-inch longer barrel than a normal AR. I wanted that because I wanted something to reach out. This is really going to be my deer hunting gun, because it can go out a little further. The 6.5 Creedmoor, that's going to be, you know, bigger game. The 50 Beowulf is going to be for like hogs. Then I've got the 338 Lapua, which is really for stuff I shouldn't talk about on here. That round, the 338 Lapua, was a round specifically designed The 50 BMG was designed to punch through an engine block and shut a car down. 338 Lapua was designed to punch through body armor at 1,000 yards.
Yeah, Richie wants you to cover the shotgun chokes.
I don't know that much about chokes. I know what I do know is for shotguns, and I only have I have 4 shotguns total. 2 of them require chokes. And what a choke does is it can change the
Pattern.
spread of your loadout. Now, the reason 2 of them don't have it is they're shorty shotguns. They don't have the barrels for them, and they're really meant for home defense. Again, one of them is a class 3, so it's only, yay long. The other one's the short Mossberg shorty, which is still, it's bigger than this gun I've been showing, but it's still a fairly short gun. The problem I have with it is you have to really pull the pump forward to fire it. So you're trying to pull forward and pull a trigger at the same time. So that's the only real problem I've had with it so far, but it does hold more rounds than my super shorty. The reason you would change your chokes out are for what you're doing. And that would be for something like if you're a hunter, but you want to do skeet shooting, you'd have a choke for your skeet shooting for the discs. You would have a choke for, small birds, turkeys, and then larger. But that's going to help control the spread of what you're shooting.
Right.
So if you're shooting bird shot or buckshot, it's kind of going to focus that a little better, because you've got to remember, shotguns aren't rifled any. It's just a smoothbore gun. And what it's shooting out, if you're not shooting slugs, that is, it's shooting out a lot of little BBs.
So you do have shotguns now that have rifle barrels.
Really?
Yeah. For
That's
slugs.
going to be, I was going to say that's going to be more directed towards slug shooting.
Yeah.
Richie, I've never seen problems with shooting slugs through a shotgun. Personally,
For a choke, you don't.
Yeah. I've never seen any bad I've never seen anything, so I really couldn't cover that any.
That's what we used to hunt with around here when I first started, was 12 gauge shotgun with slugs.
And actually, my Typhoon F12 has a choke kit in it, but I've left the basic tubing on it because I do plan on running buckshot and slugs as one of my home defenders.
Now, do you have any black powder?
I do not. The only black powder gun I was interested was a double barrel shotgun black powder that's only about 8 inches, 6 inches long. I mean, super short. But when I found out it was black powder, I want something I can throw in and go. And when I found out it was black powder, I was kind of turned off, because black powder, you have to hand load everything. Right. You have to get the appropriate loadouts. And the video we covered last week actually covered. Oh no, that was a jam. They jammed the rifle. If you shoot a round that is not properly loaded for that gun, if you either overload it or underload it, you can and will cause damage to your guns. So when you shoot, especially if you reload, this is more important for reloaders. Right. If you reload your own ammo, get the amounts exact.
Richie's got a 32 caliber black powder pistol.
I'm sure that's fun to shoot, but that's really only useful for shooting targets.
I've got a inline 50 cal black powder, but it used the preload pellets.
Tear it open, dump it in, and go.
Yeah, it opens up just like a bolt action rifle. And put them in, and it uses precision cap.
Yeah. So and black powder
there are black powder shotguns out there now that are reaching out 200 yards.
Well, there are still. I know in Georgia they have a black powder season for hunting, so there are still groups of people that actively use black powder guns for. I know there's a couple competitions; they're really not well known, and then hunting.
Right.
But it would not be useful as if you're going hog hunting and you need to rapidly put down a bunch, or home defense.
Right. But up here in Missouri, go back about 7-8 years ago, our alternative season up here is called black powder season, where you only could hunt with black powder, right? But now they switched it to alternative, which crossbows, Adelays,
The
black
hell's an
powder.
Adelaide?
You've never seen an Adelaide?
No, I've never seen an Adelaide.
I want to see some. I've seen YouTube videos of people killing a deer with one, but there's no way. It's a stick. It's a spear, right? But it has another stick on it, and you wheel it back.
Oh, I
And
remember
throw it.
those. Yeah, I remember those.
They legalized them up here to deer hunt with.
I didn't know those were still in effect. The only research I've ever seen about them, I have a book of weapons. It's in there, and they were used by tribes as a weapon to get their spears out further.
Yeah, but yeah, that legal up here to deer hunt with in alternative.
For those of you
season.
that don't know, here's your fun fact for the day. You can legally own a cannon anywhere. You can also legally own a flamethrower anywhere but California.
They need one out there.
Yes, they do. But you can legally own a black powder cannon with no background checks, nothing. You can go out, buy a cannon. There's two on the street on my way to Galveston that I'm really tempted to pick up. Because you don't need to buy a cannonball or make cannonballs. You can basically throw whatever the hell you want into that thing and fire it, and it's going to shoot
Exactly.
whatever the hell's
Exactly.
in it out.
Just
Like if you want to be an asshole to a home intruder, mount your cannon at the top of the stairs and just load that shit with a bunch of dildos.
yeah,
And you can shoot. It's going to hurt them like hell, but it's
Yeah.
going to be funny to watch.
And
Wrong
that,
home.
that way, when the cops get there, they say, "What'd you shoot him with?" Rubber bullets. You fell into that one. Oh,
Whew, a lot
Yeah.
of latex,
yeah.
but you can legally do it.
Oh my. But
Oh, Lord.
yeah, when they started using those Adelaides up here, I was like, "You got to be kidding me."
Yeah, it's fun.
I'd have better luck sitting in a tree stand with a spear and throwing it straight down
Exactly.
than
One thing
trying
I-
to estimate where that thing's going to fall.
Yeah, one thing I would love to use or do and test. Now, this one's going to have to be like I'm going to have to get a long fuse. But I am so curious if I could load a cannon up with tannerite, form it into the shape of a ball, and load it, put a spacer between the powder and the tannerite so there's no direct contact with flame. But I'm wondering if I could launch this tannerite with enough force so it exploded on contact.
Or shoot it when it on contact.
Yeah. Basically turn it into explosive Play-Doh that I can throw at people from a quarter mile, and now your house is covered in tannerite that I never had to get close to. But I am very, very curious if you could actually, one, accurately, and two, safely shoot tannerite out of a cannon and hit a target and either have it explode or paste to that house for you to shoot.
Right. And for the local people up here, where I'm located up around the Cameron area, the new pawn shop in Cameron is now selling tannerite in 12-pack.
I need to get some. My roommate won't let me have any right now. I talked to him about it. He said, you can't have that in the house.
Okay.
Yes, I have rules because I'm this weird.
John Whittoff puts in there, nope, firing shock will detonate the tannerite.
There's got to be a way you can do it, though. If you put it
I've
in a
never
case-
messed with the stuff. I've seen videos of it and everything, like the idiot that put it in the refrigerator and stood behind the tree.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah. When a refrigerator door comes flying at me, I ain't doing that shit no more.
Well, I've got guns that'll reach out and do what I need to do from a safe distance.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, there's got to be a way if you could encase the tannerite in like fiberglass or something to be able to do this.
I don't know. Does it go off? Tannerite go off by shock?
It goes off by the impact force. So that's one reason it's legal. You have to hit it with enough force. So normally, if you
hit it with a baseball bat, would it go off?
no. In fact, a 22 even won't set it off. most of the time. And let me tell you what I mean by that. You can take the pellets. Tannerite comes in a 2-part mixture. Comes in pellets and I think it's a paste or like a Play-Doh jelly. You mix them together, and the beads are what you actually hit to make it go off. Now, I'm not saying you should do this ever, and you definitely didn't hear this from me, but you can take those pellets, put them in a blender, and blend them fine enough to where a 22 will set it off.
I gotta see what Richie sent me a picture of.
So I'm not telling you to do it. I'm definitely not telling you to test this. This is something I've never tested. I for sure would not do this in a blender in my home. But I got told by one of my old buddies who loved playing with tannerite, you can put it in a blender, a coffee blender, and blend it up fine enough to where a 22 will set it off.
I ain't going to try it. My luck
Yeah.
it'd blow up in my face.
I'd rather shoot it with something bigger than a 22 from a safe distance.
Yeah. That ain't going to, yeah. Okay, let's see. Richie sent me 2 photos. I got to see what they are. Come on. Why isn't Facebook reacting?
So obviously me freezing was on your end tonight, not mine. So, but yeah, I'll try.
I've been on it several times, but I don't know why it's not.
So I'll try to have some random facts. I'm not going to claim that's going to be a skit. Cannon with third charge recoils back 6 feet. Holy hell! There's got to be a way you could shoot tannerite out of something. I'm sure you could use a potato gun. No, I know you could use a potato gun, but there's no risk of it really exploding on impact at that point in time, unless you really have a hell of a potato gun. I'm just saying that would be a good idea, you know, if a civil war did happen and something you needed to use something to blow up something, and you can't get close enough to it. I'm just thinking of ways that you can put something on something to make it go boom, which tannerite is what we can legally acquire. So,
okay, here's pictures Richie sent me. I'll bring them up here.
Skeet launcher might work, but I think a potato gun would get more distance. 36 grain max, cal 44.
For that.
See, even Richie's loving this show. We gonna show off our toys here? Fuck yeah!
Yeah, we show them.
I got no problem showing them.
No, if people want to send them, you can find me on Facebook, Carl Albertson, and
Cameron Bates.
Yeah, and send photos or whatever, and
I showed Carl the 308 Winchester.
Mm-hmm.
And how light that trigger is, because I mean you can pull that with your pinky. It's got no resistance. You want to talk about feather light triggers? This dude spoiled me, because now I want him on all my guns, because it takes nothing to pull this trigger. It's a nice gun.
Yeah, that was a 36 caliber Navy Yank. What Richie had.
I need to get some vacation time, come up there and go shoot, bring everything and go shoot. And I just got to look at the state laws of driving through there, because basically I'd be a small arms dealer at that point in time. I want to put in perspective how many guns I have for people. Okay. I know I've got, let's see, the 308, the 6.5. I need to write this down.
He's got more than a baker's dozen.
Yo. Please, Baker's Dozens looking at me with jealousy.
Yeah.
So
I want you to come up.
50 Beowulf 2556. I've got the 9mm, two 1911s, 145.
Yeah, Richie says just come up and keep them unloaded until you get up here, and you shouldn't have any problems.
I've got the 308, 6.5, 338, 4 shotguns.
2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
145. So 1, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17?
Yeah, that's what you told me. That was last count.
Yeah, for now. So 17 guns that I can count right now. Oh, no, 18. I got the 22. I forgot that one.
You got cases for all of them?
No, I do not.
Yeah, they say just keep them unloaded and put them in cases.
I got a bag. I've got 2 bags that'll fit about 3 or 4 guns, depending on how I.
You can do that. You can come up and do like that guy does a YouTube video with all the guns when the cop walks up to the window and goes, "You got a gun?" He goes,
Oh yeah.
"Oh yeah, here."
You want to see them?
Yeah, you want to see him, and opens the whole thing up and finds out you just entered California.
This is awesome, and I want to go shooting with you, but you just crossed the border into California.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah, run.
So
I would have drove across the border real quick.
yeah. Let me throw this in reverse real fast.
Now we'll go shoot him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richie says he's got 15.
So between me and Richie, we could take over a small third world country.
Yep. Yep. I could throw a couple more in there and you could throw over a bigger country.
Yeah. Because I've got everything that'll reach from 7 yards all the way out to 1,000 yards. Actually, more than 1,000 yards, but it's rated at 1,000.
One of the guys I work with, he's got 21. And the other guy I hunt with, he's got, oh God, at least 25.
So that's why we do this show. We like guns a lot.
It's the Second Amendment right.
And I utilize that a lot.
And the majority of these guns, I say majority, mind you, are for hunting.
Yes, I can accurately agree with that.
You can hunt with every gun you have.
2 of them are, actually 3 of them are really pushing that. But
Now,
the
do you have a fully automatic?
No.
Okay.
The only class 3 I have is the shotgun.
Okay. You can still hunt with it.
Yep, but it's going to be hard because it's a shotgun that's this big.
Right. Now, what's the smallest barrel you can have on a shotgun in Texas?
Legally?
Legally.
Let me...
14 inches up here.
I think it's the same.
Yeah. Richie goes 15 plus 22 knives, 1 sword, 2 tomahawks, 2 nunchucks, and a spear.
I've got plenty of knives if we're going to throw
We
that
can
out
make
there.
a Christmas song out of this.
So yeah, the shortest shotgun you can legally own without having to register it is a 14-inch barrel, 26-inch length overall, which I have one. The class 3 I have is shorter than that, and I will try and remember to bring them next show up and show you the size differences between the shotguns. I mean, if I got time at the end of the show, I could run down real quick and grab them. But this one, what makes it a class 3 is it's below all those legal limits, the barrel and the overall length. It's shorter than.
But it's legal.
It's legal with a tax stamp.
Oh, okay.
That's one reason I really went out and bought me a nice safe, because if something were to happen, I want to make sure my tax stamp is safe, because if I lose that stamp, that gun I have to go and find a way to get a new tax stamp, but they have to take my gun until I get that stamp.
Now, how do you apply for your tax stamp?
Mine was really easy. I know for suppressors, my gunsmith that I go through, he has a lawyer that he utilizes that'll get you all that set up. How I got mine for that shotgun, I told him I want the tax stamp. They set up a trust fund in my name. I put my roommate on it so he can use the shotgun without my presence. If I'm not there, no matter what, if you're not on that stamp, you can't touch this gun.
Oh.
It's there are some really strict laws with this. Like you can shoot it, but I have to be with you when you shoot it.
Right.
He can shoot it, but if he wants to have somebody else shoot it, he has to have the stamp with him. And if I take it shooting, I have to take a copy with me and everything. But all I had to do is tell my. Now, class 3 firearms are easier to get than, say, a suppressor, which is ridiculous. A Class 3 shotgun took $5 for the tax stamp to be put in. They filed the paperwork for me, took the fingerprints, everything. I had to fill out paperwork. When I bought the shotgun, I had to bring my roommate in to fill out paperwork. And then I just had to wait. I think it was like 5 months, and I got the shotgun. Normally, for a tax stamp like that, you would get a lawyer. The easiest way I found. If you want to do it on your own, it's hard. It's really difficult. But get a lawyer, have them set up a trust fund in your name, and then just put every gun or every Class 3 item you have in that trust fund. So when I go to get a suppressor, and I hope so too soon, I plan on getting a suppressor for the 22 LR I have, because it'll be quiet, to say the least. It's one of those guns that movies copied, basically. Is, oh, you can't hear anything. This one, you really can't. Anything bigger than the 22, you're going to hear. But this one, you'll hear the trigger pull. That's it. But, yeah, it was super, super easy to do. It just took a really, really long time for everything to come back approved, which it should not take. If I can go to a gun store and walk out the same day with a new gun, I should be able to do something similar with a suppressor. At most a week.
Richie's leaving. He said, "Great show, guys."
But I think the suppressors, and I'll probably do a whole segment on suppressors at some point in time. Suppressors, and they are not silencers. I want to make that very, very clear. There is no such thing in the gun world as a silencer.
That's a made-up name, TV name.
That's a movie. Exactly. It's for movies. Suppressors reduce the noise for your firearm, so most of the time you can go shooting or hunting without ear protection, which, if you've ever had a gun go off without ear protection, it's really fucking loud. But a suppressor is a benefit for that, because it does reduce. You're still going to hear it on most of them. Again, the 22 and the 17 Hammer, which is smaller than the 22, you might not hear. You'll hear the gun trigger. You'll hear contact. But
now, do the snipers in the military use them?
I know some of them use them, because it can help reduce detection. It's gonna help not give away your location. Now I highly recommend getting some suppressors, but they're so damn hard to get a hold of right now.
And expensive.
Yeah, you're looking about $600 plus for a suppressor on a gun you just spent $600 on. And there are, again, if you want to use a suppressor, it's that Class 3. You have to carry that tax stamp with that suppressor at all times. So if you go shooting or hunting with a suppressor and you forgot your tax stamp, you better strip that suppressor off and hide it quick. And that doesn't mean, oh, I go to this range all the time and they don't really care. Don't get laxed. All it takes is one dude that's in a bad mood.
Right.
And for all these people, and I keep seeing them, for the love of God, they're selling a fuel oil filter that you mount on a lawnmower, and it's a suppressor. You know, they have the ratings for the guns on there, not for these equipment. Do not buy these. Don't buy a fuel can or an oil can and put it on a gun. That's illegal. And if you buy one of these fuel oil filters, you're probably on a list. And if not on a list, they're watching the hell out of you, or they're coming to arrest you because you tried to buy a suppressor without a tax stamp. The laws for Class 3 weaponry, which, again, I don't know why the suppressors are on there, are way stricter than any other gun you're going to own. If you lose that stamp, you need to get that gun to where you need to get it as quick as possible. Because not only are you going to lose that gun if you get busted without your tax stamp, you're going to lose your rights to every other gun you have.
Right. I like the one in the movies where the guy has the pistol and uses a 2-liter Sprite bottle.
Sprite bottle?
Yeah, sticks it on the barrel.
I don't know if you would have to fill that with a lot of stuff to make it work. And it's
he didn't fill it with nothing. He poured it out and stuck it on it.
Won't work.
I didn't think so.
It won't work. Now I can imagine there is a way to make it work, but you are going to have to put stuff in that bottle. and it's only going to really be useful once. It's like people taking their guns and putting it in a pillow. Doesn't work. It won't work. You need the if you open a suppressor, there are different chambers through that. After a certain point, you know, if you're wanting to go for distance shooting and you buy a suppressor, over a certain point you're going to lose range on that suppressor because that powder, that explosion, that gas pushing out that round is being dispersed through these chambers.
Yeah.
So that's what's helping reduce the noise. That's why it doesn't eliminate noise entirely, unless, again, you're shooting something really tiny that doesn't have a lot of power behind it in the first place. But that pressure needs to escape somewhere, and it will go into these chambers, which as it progresses through, that round is still getting friction through the gun, through that barrel. So the more chambers you have, the more likely you're going to lose some range on it. But it is a benefit as far as quieting your gun. So if you do buy one, find some recommendations, or when you get it, take it out and find where your range has moved to. Anytime you modify a gun, other than cosmetically, so if you put a grip on it, you put a foregrip, you put a bipod, whatever. If you modify the trigger, if you modify the charging handle, if you modify any internal components, or the barrel or upper, if you replace any really functional part of that gun, upper, lower, barrel modifications, anything, you need to take it back out and refine where your happy point is.
Exactly. I'm going to put up our spot fund again.
Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the show. We'll open it up for 10 minutes for questioning. So if you have any questions about guns, what I own, what I want to own, anything about what guns you own, recommendations, where to buy them. If you want to know my where I got most of my ARs, I think all but one I got from this guy. Anything like that, we'll go ahead. If you want to find him, you can look up Jim Mortimer, which is, I think it's mortimergunsmithing.com. Let me get that website for you. Mortimerguns.com. But you can go and find his, and he doesn't just do ARs. He does some other custom works like that. Just email him, tell him I sent you. Please let him know that I'm still looking out for him, because he did do a lot for me. Don't forget to go to the network website, Woe Entertainment, Facebook page, follow, subscribe to keep up with all the shows. Again, this is the Second Amendment Ranch. We have the At 1700 Somewhere show. We have Woe Radio. We have, what else?
There they are.
Yeah.
We have the WO radio show on Tuesday nights, 5 p.m. These are all Central Times, folks, and everything. So we got WO radio show on Tuesday nights, 5 to 7. We got it 1700 Somewhere, Sunday nights, 5 to 7. We got the Great Kaninsky show Wednesday night at 7 p.m. We have Hot Boxing with Matt Saturday at 7 p.m. We have my show, the Paranormal Nation Radio, on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. And we got some more shows coming on.
Yep.
And we got the Second Amendment. I got to get it up on here, too, when we do this.
So check him out. Tell him I sent you. But do we have any questions with our 8 minutes left?
We will see. No questions popping up. People, if you want to come in, anytime and talk, just let us know.
And we'll make it happen.
We will make it happen.
While we wait for any questions, there are 3 guns I still want to get. Let me see. I got a photo of one of them. I want a Marlin 1895 4570 lever action. I've been wanting that one for a long time, but it's you can't.
My boss just bought a 4570. I got to see what he got. He said he kind of wish he didn't buy it because it's harder to find ammo for it now.
But no.
What do you think of Henry rifles?
I've heard. I don't have any. I have heard nothing but good reviews about Henry. Henry's been around for millennia, I think 200 plus years now.
Yeah.
And they have always been a very reliable gun. I don't like how they look aesthetically. And I have big hands, so one of the reasons I want this Marlin 4570, it's the gray wood stock with the silver barrel.
We got
It's got the bigger loop for your hand.
minutes left.
But this is the 1911 I was actually looking at. It goes for about $1,600. But the Kember Rapid Black Ice, I really like how this gun looks. I have a Kember, and
Nice.
I love Kember. I've got a Colt 1911 and a Kember 1911. One reason I really like 1911s is you see this dovetail right here. That's another safety feature. They have the thumb safety feature. Now this, your hammer can't actually cock back unless you rack chamber around, charge the gun essentially. So you can keep your gun on a safe mode with a round in chamber very, very efficiently. Another thing is that gun will not let you pull that trigger without this dovetail being pushed in. So that's one reason I really love 1911s. John Woodorf asks if I use beard conditioner. I do when I can find it, especially when I have my beard long, because I have a very aggressive beard, a very abrasive, rough, thick hair beard. Like I could turn it into fishing line beard. So if I can find conditioner to make it a little softer, more manageable, I use it. I just haven't found one I really liked because they always come in these itty bitty ass little bottles, and I want something that comes in a good quantity that's going to last me a while because I don't want to spend $20 a month on beard conditioner. I usually use beard oil for the skin and a beard balm. I have, as far as what I've used Barbados beard conditioner, Beard Struggle beard conditioner, and one other I can't remember, which clearly tells you it wasn't that good. But I want something, I like something that smells. I'm wearing it for one, the beard, and two, because I can smell it all day. I want something enjoyable that's going to last. So Barbados lasted a good long while, and then the Beard Struggle would last a good long while. But Beard Struggle is rather pricey as far as what they want for it, and they don't really give you a lot.
Right. Mickey wants to know, does a suppressor
Significantly affect accuracy and distance.
Accuracy and distance?
As far as your accuracy goes, not too much as far as left or right. The only real change you should see on a good suppressor. Now, if you get a lower quality, you might see a shift in your accuracy to the sides a little bit, especially if you mount it wrong. But as far as getting a quality one, the only real thing you're going to see is your distance drop a little bit. I've never heard of Viking Revolution, John. But again, we covered that when you get a suppressor, you need to find where sighted in, it should still be sighted in, but you need to see, okay, I was sighted in at 200 yards. Let me put this out to 200 yards and see if it's dropped for this caliber, and if so, by how much. But again, that's why I say go do some research when you buy one. Find one that can reduce the sound to a level you're comfortable with, but does not affect your range as much. It's not going to be huge numbers. I do, John, you're asking a lot about beard products. I love beard products a lot, especially because I get real itchy right here if I don't use them. I would rather find one that wants to support veterans. If I could find, I contacted one about a sponsorship, but I haven't heard back from them yet. But if you know any, send them to my personal chat, please, because I have a shit memory and I'll forget about Viking Revolution at the end of this. So send it to me, let me know, and I guess I'll do some beard product reviews on here every now and again. But I would love to find I know a lot of veterans are really getting into beard products and stuff. I would like to find one that supports, either is ran by or supports veterans.
Right. I don't have to use it. Mine's baby soft.
I mean, we've seen mine.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the first time I met you, it was down to here.
Yeah. So I do use a lot of beard products, and I have tried a lot of off-brand ones, off-name ones. So, but yes, you are right, John. The beard flash will, because again, those chambers are taking away a lot of that, so those chambers will take away that muzzle flash.
Right.
You can get a flash hider, which is it kind of hides it. It doesn't really do as much as they claim it does. It will help. Most of what I put on my guns, if I'm not putting a suppressor, I'm putting a compensator. Flash hiders are beneficial for shooting people. I'm not saying go hunt people. I'm saying like the military will use them often.
Right. That's why snipers use them.
Suppressors are beneficial for all around. As far as hiding flash and quieting your gun, I like compensators, but because it will help compensate for that recoil. Like I put them on my 1911s because it helps to keep that kickback down. So instead of coming back here, I'm now coming up to here. So
And they do kick up.
I can reacquire my target that much faster compared to, I came up here, now I got to come back down, reset in. No, that's why I like compensators. And that's why I put them on my 1911s. But I do need one. I can't take them off. The guys that manufactured them weird. I got them on and now I can't get them the fuck off. So I don't if you don't want to basically make a gun permanently compensated, don't buy 1911 compensators because they are hell to get off. But
What kind of price tag are on them?
The price tag, I think I got both of them for about 60. But I also got some new scales. So I think the price, they made like $15. They weren't a lot at all. I mean, even going and finding them anywhere, they didn't cost me a whole bunch of money. But this was well before the coronavirus shit. So now you're probably going to look at $40, $50 because they are a good quality. They can take a beating like no tomorrow. They're just hell to get on and off. Well, that's our time. Sorry. I will try and leave a little more time next week for more questioning, especially if we can get some more viewers at the end. But John, if you want to send me the link for the Viking Revolution, I told you I was going to forget. If you want to send me that, please do. I'll look at them, see if I'd be interested. But anything other than that, and we will try and stick to Second Amendment-based activities. As always, I'm Cameron.
And I'm Carl.
And this is the Second Amendment Ranch.
Night. See you next